Is the Pod Go still relevant? Is it overpriced? Should you buy one? Or are there better options out there? I hope to answer all of those questions for you in today's video and arm you with the information that you need to make an informed buying decision. So with all that said, let's dive in. Line 6 Pod Go is a fantastic do-it-all style platform that has really only continued to get better over the years through recent firmware updates. Specifically, Line 6 has continued to add more effects, amps, and signal chain capabilities with the Pod Go, which, much to Line 6 credit, I think they do a spectacular job supporting the products that they release and making them better through firmware updates. The Pod Go also features the exact same tonal capabilities of the flagship Helix, which costs 3 times as much as the Pod Go. So what this means for you is that a lot of the same amps and the same effects are going to be capable within the Pod Go. And of course, that comes with the caveat that the Pod Go is going to be more limited in terms of its overall processing power or what you have the ability to configure within your signal chain. The Pod Go also has 8 foot switches, a huge display, a really intuitive software, and an awesome desktop editor. Plus, it's got a built-in volume, wah, or expression pedal. The Pod Go also features 2 distinct models, their basic model and then the wireless model, which are going to be separated by a $100 price tag. So the basic model is $500, the wireless version is $600, and the wireless version is going to be compatible with their wireless G10 unit. Now, because this unit is a little bit older, it is also very easy to find these units used on Facebook Marketplace or on Reverb for significantly less, which is definitely nice. And the Pod Go also has a stomp mode that allows you to map 6 effects to your foot switches, or they also have a snapshot mode that allows you to go in and save 4 distinct snapshots to each individual preset. And snapshots are just Line 6's way of giving you the ability to control multiple effects or effect or amp parameters all with the click of 1 foot switch. And so theoretically, what this allows you to do is take a very simple clean tone, maybe with just some compression and reverb, to a huge lead tone with delay, even more mix from your reverb, maybe more gain from your amp, and extra overdrive, and just do that by engaging 1 foot switch. I think this is a super powerful feature that I use all the time, especially when playing live. And you can actually download my free preset from my website. It is equipped with 4 distinct snapshots and hopefully gets you guys started on your Pod Go journey. And there's some other paid presets you can purchase to help support the channel as well. Lastly, I think one of the biggest pros for the Pod Go is going to be the overall intuitiveness of the system, the desktop editor, and the ecosystem that's supported from Line 6. And because Line 6 has done such a great job diversifying the products that they have available, that means there's a lot of people that own a Helix, an HX Stomp, a Pod Go, or multiple units within this one ecosystem. And so for you, if you're looking to purchase the Pod Go, that means there's probably a lot of helpful content out there, whether it be articles, videos, presets you can download, etc. But with all that said, what are the cons of this little unit, and can it still hold up to the competition? In my opinion, the Pod Go only has a few cons. However, I think they're big enough cons to justify the vast amount of product options that Line 6 offers within the Helix ecosystem. In this case, I think one of the largest cons is the limitations to the signal chain and the overall limitations to the amount of DSP within the Pod Go. And by default, the Pod Go has a wah, a volume, an EQ block, and an effects loop, pre-programmed for every single preset. In this case, you cannot delete those to free up your signal chain, but you do have the ability to move them around within that specific preset. And in my opinion, this is a big con because essentially, even though you can have 8 blocks within the Pod Go, you're immediately limited down to 4 effects that you can actually have within your signal chain. And as somebody who mostly plays worship, and as worship tends to have stacked overdrives, multiple delays, and reverbs, I find that the Pod Go can be a little limiting and force you to get creative with how you set up your blocks. Now, to be fair, I think there are ways that you can bypass this issue, either by having multiple presets for different purposes, or by using snapshots to go in and adjust your effects parameters to either give you more reverb mix and decay or more overdrive and gain for individual snapshots and still have the same number of blocks. And in researching this, I also found that there are people that have kind of jailbroke their Pod Go and freed it up to give you more options. But from everything I was able to find, it's not super reliable and probably wouldn't recommend it. And because of this, I found that probably most people that would enjoy the Pod Go are going to be people that need or want a more simple layout and overall signal chain. In this case, if you are playing bass or you're relatively new to playing guitar, I think the Pod Go is still a really awesome option. Past that, some other small cons would be things like not having an XLR output or some of the latency that happens when switching between presets and the gap in noise. Or lastly, the desktop editor being slightly less reliable than the HX Edit app. And if any of those limitations are deal breakers for you, that's where I think we need to take an honest look at the alternatives that are now available on the market and see how they hold up against the Pod Go. At this point, the Pod Go is about 4 years old, and I think it's worth us taking an honest look at what has changed within the market and measure that against the Pod Go and see if it still makes sense today. Since the release of the Pod Go, there have been units like the Tonex pedal that have come out, the Hot Tones Impero 2, the Headrush Flex Prime, the Boss GT 1000, just to name a few. And in my personal opinion, I think at this point in time, the Pod Go is a little outdated in terms of its features and functionality, especially when we compare it to the price point of these other units and what they are able to deliver upon. Specifically, I think most of those units that I just mentioned either have more processing power, more capabilities in terms of their signal chain, more robust effects, or they even have capture technology that allows you to record the way an amp feels and sounds and save it within your unit. Not to say that the Pod Go is a bad pedal by any means, but it is just crazy to see how much has changed in 4 short years. And personally, what I think Line 6 needs to do to still make this product competitive within the market is free up some of the DSP or the signal chain limitations that are built within the unit. And because Line 6 just released the firmware 2.5, added more amps into the ecosystem, my assumption is they plan to continue supporting this pedal for a couple more years. So with all that said, should you buy one? Now, should you buy one? Honestly, I think it ultimately boils down to what you want as a guitarist or as a bassist. And in this case, the Pod Go from Line 6 is a staple unit from Line 6. And Line 6 is a super reputable company. They have released the Helix, which is one of the most popular digital modelers that have ever been created. And on top of all of that, because of the community surrounding the Pod Go, it means there's a lot of resources available for you. So whether you want to go in and purchase aftermarket presets, if you want videos and tips and tricks and researching articles, there's going to be a lot of information out there because of how many people own the Pod Go. Whereas with the units that I mentioned earlier, most of those are relatively new units and therefore more limited in terms of the amount of people that have built resources and information relating to those products. In terms of the overall tones, I think because the Pod Go still descends from the Helix line and gives you a lot of those same effects and same amp capabilities, I still think the Pod Go is relevant and very capable in terms of the tonal qualities and the characteristics you can get out of this platform. And in summation, I think if you want a unit that is simple and intuitive, that can sound amazing, and has a really big community surrounding its ecosystem, the Pod Go is a really solid route to go. However, if you're still on the fence on the Pod Go, watch this video that I created comparing the Pod Go and the HX Stomp. Here, see you guys later.